probably left a lot on the table, because it's not just looking at the percentage, it's looking at what we call the potential. It's interesting in business school we learn very quickly on how to evaluate the market and say the market is this large, so we put a number on that market, right? But when we start a company, we say we only want this little piece of the market, right? Well, I have a different philosophy about that, and I'm not going to share it this morning, but I think you can just about figure out what that is.
Is it somewhere along the line to target the entire market?
How do I get everything? How do I get? It's how do we begin to dominate, and how do we take that to really? And it's out there. I'll share one story with you. My first time as a manager, since we're talking about managers, I was 28 years old. And I was given a division of a company, and the company was number 32 out of 32 divisions in the company. And we're Fortune 500, so we're a very large company. And so my boss came to me and he said, well, what are you going to do? And of course, what normally you would do is you look at last year and say, we're going to improve just a little bit over what the last manager did, right? And I'm thinking, well, the last manager got fired, so maybe I need to do a little bit more. So I was naive, and I said to him, I said, we're going to be the #1 division in this company. So we're going to go from number 32 to the most profitable division in every category in this company. And he looked at me, he goes, it's impossible. You'd have to do 3 years of performance in 1 year, because we average it out. I didn't know that. Still naive. I said, okay, we'll be in the top 10. He goes, that'll be a major accomplishment. Where do you think we finished?
Don't leave me in suspense here. Just let me know.
1. We finished #1.
Whoa.
In the first year. We did. And the way we did that is because everybody was aligned to the vision. Everybody was on the same page. I knew their melody, harmony, and rhythm. I really can say that. I was 28. The average age of my employee was 50 at the time. And I got to know every single one of them. I came out of my office. I wanted to take the door off the office. I wanted to take the walls down so that, because it was that culture that was transformed, and we based it around potential. And when I saw the potential, and I went to everybody and said, what's the potential if we could do this? I knew exactly where we were going to land, right away, because the potential was a lot greater than what the expectation. If I had given them the corporate goal, we would have been successful, but we wouldn't have achieved our full potential. So
being #1 is not just a dream. It can definitely become a reality if you have the right tools at your hand. We're in discussion with Robert Van Allen. We're going for a very short break, but we'll be right back on Good Morning Sri Lanka.
On the process of presenting to you a very inspirational morning.
Definitely, and I think that we've given out a lot of really great information and a lot of things that people can really think about during the day, because these are all things that maybe are right in front of our faces, but we don't really think about, how we can connect with the people we work with, the people that we have to manage day in and day out, whether we actually have things like an open door policy, where there's a lot of information interchange that happens within a corporation. But now you spoke about this, you spoke about how important it is for a country as well to have people who think like this. But again, what do you think should change in the mindset of especially Asian, people, or even if you speak about Sri Lankans? What should change in the mindset when it comes to making a really great change that will have a great impact on the entire economy of the country?
Well, I think that because Sri Lanka is an emerging market, and a lot of Sri Lankan young people go and get educated abroad, and sometimes they'll stay abroad. And I think that that's fine for a short period of time, maybe, because you can gain some experience through that. But no matter where I'm speaking in whatever country I'm in, I think it's important for the young people to to come back to their country and really apply that knowledge base in the country, because that's really, I mean, that's where the legacy, when we really talk about legacy, that's really where it is. Is to be able to, go out, you get educated, and you have, and what's really great about here is because we're talking about SEMA, the organization that I'm working with, Chartered Institute of Management Accountants. I mean, they're really on the forefront of really trying to, help these types of, transitions happen, where that knowledge really does stay here. I look at all the building that's going on, especially in the hospitality sector. You can just see, these, big buildings going up, big hotels and resorts and things like that that are going up. Well, who's going to manage those? Who's going to lead those? There's some opportunities here that you really are not going to be able to, to find anywhere else. I know another one of the pillars that the country is really focuses on is the marine pillar. As far as you have the docks that are your position in the right place in the world, to really capitalize, on something. Well, there again, I look at it a lot different. I look at it, those opportunities, for young people to build careers, for themselves, for their families, and, and there again, for their country, making this, just a great country. So I think somebody has really done a really great job. The leadership and government has done a great job as far as coming up with the vision. That's true. But it's going to require that people, especially the young people, really begin to participate and be inspired, by that vision, and come back here and see all this, the infrastructure. I mean, it's going on right now. I mean, it may be a little hard to get around, for somebody like myself that's used to, just speeding down a highway, but, I understand it. If you understand vision and you see the construction, I can't wait to come back here again and again and just, to be a part of the growth.
See how it's progressed, I guess.
Exactly.
But you've worked with the federal government of the United States as well. So you're someone who's been involved in the policy making that happens there as well. Any lessons that we can learn from what the States has applied all the way across so many oceans here in Sri Lanka?
Well, I can tell you, I vividly remember a program, and I'm not going to get into what departments of the government it was all about, but the one thing I can say that is important, and I think that maybe even Sri Lanka is right on par, maybe even a bit ahead, and that's communication.
Right. With the highest bonus interest of 40%, plan your savings, plan your life with People's Bank.
Right. It's really being able to communicate, across all sectors. That knowledge sharing, which I talk about in my corporate programs. That knowledge sharing is so important at the government level, because once you have a vision like you have, you really have got to, just as I tell the corporate people, you've got to get to know, your people, and the same thing happens there. That, being able to share knowledge across platforms, and there's technology. One of the things that I think you were going to bring up, and I'll just bring it up now, is certainly the social enterprise. Right. I'm going to share that with you. That's going to be the thing of the future. Social enterprise. We don't see too much of that today. Okay. What I mean by that is we all have our smartphones, right? Yeah. But our smartphones are actually going to become even smarter than where they are today.
Oh dear.
It's like everybody has apps on their phones, right? Well, the apps pretty much today are all push apps where you turn your phone and it pushes information out to you. Those apps, all that is getting ready to change within corporate, within government, within everything, where the apps are going to really begin to be more integrated, be more engaging, allowing you to grow and respond through those particular programs with even in your company. They're predicting this to be the next the largest learning tool. It's already predicted in Europe. To be one of the greatest learning tools that are out there. And so you'll hear this term called social enterprise, and basically they're talking not just social media, but the enterprise of building, something that now connects me with my internal community as a company, or my internal community as a government, but it also connects me with my external community, and we can communicate both ways through these tools. versus just one way of announcing that, you know, there's a special at this restaurant or whatever, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Which is basically what I use my smartphone for now. Robert kind of hit the nail on the head there. But it's true. I mean, you have to be connected, and I guess in that way, it's very important for corporations to keep in par with the technological developments that are happening, with the way consumers are thinking. Because if you fall off that wagon, then you're off it for good, aren't you?
You are definitely. Everything is the consumer. The consumer is what's really driving the change. You know, the consumer is looking for things, you know, faster. They're looking for better quality. You know, they're looking, you know, for you know, different types of products and services, and you can deliver those in a different way. And innovation, right, the speed of innovation is just only going to get faster and faster over the next few years. And I tell you what, Sri Lanka is in a great place to take advantage of it.
Yeah, I remember that once we had a very special guest on the show who said that Sri Lanka can be actually used as a mode, as a center of communication. And Amaya was on the show as well. So I think that's very important what you mentioned right now. I mean, in order to be a communicable nation to the entire world, it's very interesting the position that we have socially and in the corporate sector as well.
Definitely. All right. So, if you want to take part in the program that Mr. Robert Van Allen will be conducting on the 19th of March, that's tomorrow, at the Cinnamon Grand Hotel, then I will give you the number that you need to dial. This is from Sima, Sri Lanka. That's 2503-880. 2503-880. You can speak to Jennifer and reserve your seats for this very great program. Now, Robert, what can you promise anyone who takes part in your program will walk away with tomorrow?
Number one, they will be inspired. That's number one.
People are inspired as well.
Yeah, they will be inspired, but they're going to learn. They're going to learn really specific techniques on engagement. You know, and really taking, you know, what I call an idea and a concept. And I'm going to share something very special that the audience is unaware of how to take, you know, really something that started on a napkin all the way into a product that, you know, I'm a part of that's sold in 27 countries, and by the end of this year it will be sold in 100 countries, right? So really taking that, you know, to a point of how do I get people engaged to that level where, you know, they are giving me what I call discretionary effort. Discretionary effort is effort beyond, you know, I don't know what the hours are here, but in the States we call it 9 to 5, right?
Yeah,
pretty much 9 to 5.
Pretty much 9 to 5. Well, discretionary effort goes, well, I'm so inspired. I want to keep going, you know. And there's some organizations out there that I will be using as models to show, you know, that I'm not saying that, you know, people have to work all the time, but if they're inspired, they're going to do more than what you ask them to do. And that makes them feel good, so why stop them?
Definitely.
You know, so you'll learn engagement, you'll learn techniques and mentorship, and really you know, bringing that collaboration forward. You'll learn how to build your community, your ecosystem and community, which includes your community in which your companies reside in, and you'll learn how to be, if you're a CEO, how to be a better CEO, and if you are a manager, you're going to learn how to orchestrate.
All right, and maybe you'll see Robert playing the piano as well, will you? Will they?
You may see that. You may see that in one of the programs. I will say that.
So yes, we want to give out everything. But thank you so much, Robert, for being with us on the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
Lovely to have you on the
Such
segment.
privilege. Thank you.
I'm sure that viewers took home a lot from that segment as well. So right now we're going for a very short break. We're leaving you with a song by Ellie Goulding, a very popular artist from the UK, and then we will be back with another very special guest. So do stay with us here on Good Morning Sri Lanka.
You don't have to worry.